Today we start a new topic, contract performance monitoring and control. In chapter number 5 or module number 5, contract administration. So once the contract has been awarded, the responsible procurement officer or monitor performance, collect the information and measure actual contract achievement. So this is essential for effective control. The resource devoted to this task and the technique used to perform them will depend on the nature of the work and size and complexity of the contract and resources available. So for a small, simple, non-critical contract and occasional telephone call may be all that is need to satisfy the responsible staff member that everything is proceeding according to the plan. So however, for a large complex contract, the responsible staff member may require extensive reports, regular progress meetings, formal testing and technical review and audits. So in the performance based contract, performance indicator develop the contract are used. In some cases, the proposed supplier's quality assurance plan may be used as a basis of a monitoring and supplier's performance. So observations are made in order to collect information related to those aspects of performance that will, when measured, will describe the progress of the work. So the reason for observing, collecting information and measuring the process is to have a basis for comparing actual achievement with plan achievement in order to exert control. And each party may be direct its attention inward intentionally to ensure that is fulfilling its own obligation and extremely to ensure that the owner party is fulfilling its obligation. So here subtopic is a control point. So observing and collecting information should be directed at four general control points. So these four control point is a cost control, schedule control, then after quality assurance and control, and last one is the compliance with terms and condition, paperwork requirement and administrative aspect of the performance. Now subtopic we start is a monitoring method. So here there are two type of the monitoring method is that direct observation and indirect observation. So direct observation means physical observation. So the responsible staff member or a field respectively is physically present at the work site during its performance to see how it's progressing. This approach is most practical when the work is physically in nature and performed at a limited number of sites. Now construction projects are example of the work readily subject to the direct observation. The inspector goes to site and visually inspect the work and comparing the observation to the construction specification and drawing to the schedule of or determine the progress of the job. So direct observation by the responsible staff member or a field respectively is of the limited use. However, when the work is largely intellectual in a nature or when it is too complex for a physical inspection alone to provide enough information to measure the progress, in these cases direct observation should be supplemented or replaced by the indirect observation. So another type of the observation is a indirect observation. So indirect observation refer to testing progress report from the many observers, technical review, performance indicators and audits. So indirect observation is appropriate when the direct observation would be provide insufficient information. Like example, like a project involving intellectual effort like infrastructure analysis, where the personal observation at the office where the work is performed are unlikely to reveal work is ahead of schedule, on schedule, or behind the schedule. So in a performance based contract, performance in direct develop in the contract are used, and in some of the cases the proposed suppliers quality assurance plan may be used as the basis of a monitoring suppliers performance, and observation are made in order to direct information related to those aspect of a performance when the measured will direct the progress of the work. So the reason for observing, collecting the information and measuring progress is to have the basis of a comparing actual achievement with plan achievement, and in order to exert control. So each party may direct its attention internally to ensure that it's fulfilling its own obligation, and externally to ensure that the other party is fulfilled its obligation or not. Now another subtopic is a receipt inspection and acceptance procedures. So inspection involves examination or testing a product or a service to ensure that it's conform to the contract requirements. Where qualities of a good are involved, inspection also means verifying the correct number of items has been delivered, and some organization may have a one-off contract with inspection agent, while other having the in-house expert who undertake plant visit and inspection. So generally there are following types of the method is there. So here three method is given. First one is a sensory and dimensional checks, and second is a physical performance checks, and third one is a destructive test. So one by one we discuss on it. First one is a sensory and dimensional check. So sensory and dimensional check are examination by the inspector using his or her eye, ear, and other sense. So the inspector exercise a good amount of personal judgment, and for a commercially available automatic pencil sharpener, for example, it's this method is reveals surface defect, missing piece, noisy operation, and parts out of alignment. So for custodial services, for example, visual inspection defects, surface that are not clean, etc. Second is a physical or performance test. So physical or performance test are provide the actual performance data that are compared with the required performance or a physical characteristic or a range of what is considered acceptable according to the contract, and the requiring the motor runs or on a operating system perform at a certain level for a specific period of the time in example of the performance test, and testing material for their chemical composition or density against parameter in the specification are example of a physical test, and a performance test for a labor intensive service are often done in a random sample. Now next is the destructive test. So destructive test that require product meet certain reliability standards or withstand a specific level of stress, and for example heating a product until it burn the test fireproof characteristic of an end product, and scratching through newly applied coat paints so that the number of coat applied by painting suppliers, etc. Now this 2.3 acceptance on rejection standards we discuss in a next lecture. So here we stop our lecture. Thank you.